My eyes are a little bit squinty because this past week I've just been, I guess, researching some cultured shows. This is Ugly Bastard tier list. Do I even have to explain it? Like, they're ugly bastards and they just, they ruin the moment, and it's just like, why do we have so much? How this tier list is gonna work is where S tier is gonna be for the ugly bastards in the show that are absolutely fucking disgusting. These are the type of shows that you will stay away from, that you really need to stay away from. It just makes me rock soft. It just makes me soft. Like, it's just, whereas if I put an ugly bastard in an F tier, let's say, that means it's doable. It's kind of weird to say. There are some ugly bastard shows, from what I've seen, sadly, that are doable. No pun intended. I picked 18 shows, because 18 is the legal number, and I couldn't bear to do 30 like I initially planned because my mind was starting to break. But let's just go over 18 shows, and I'm sorry. Anyways, let's get straight to it. Oh yeah, by the way, I will be including some doujins, and I will be including some anime. So the first one we have is Himawari wa Yaru Nisaku. This ugly bastard is really, how should I say, he's like, he's not a good ugly bastard. I know ugly bastard seems like really bad, but this show is like, it's in a Terraria as well, and this wife gets advantage and she gets dominated, and it made me feel sad in a way. It made me feel disgusting. I felt nasty after this. I had to like wash my face, and just, for sure it is not an F tier. I wouldn't recommend anyone watching this because it is absolutely nasty. This one's just fucked. It's honestly just, but when you see the guy's face and like the dialogue that he says makes me that more uncomfortable. I mean, the girl is hot, like most of the ugly bastard shows. So this is probably gonna be an A. Probably gonna be an A tier for me. So, I'm gonna mispronounce this, so just bear with me. Tanatsuke Oji-san to Papako JD Simon Sekatsu. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, fuck, I remember this one. Okay, this one is from a doujin. This one is just bad. Like, the ugly bastards are just ugly. Fat, low cheek, thick ass lips, it is just absolutely fucking filthy. I would not recommend this. I mean, I wouldn't recommend any of these, to be honest. But this one was, it made me really uncomfortable. I mean, some of the scenes were over the top. Like, you get your vanilla that's like, oh, it's kind of good in a way. Well, better than this, obviously. But this one, the scenes were like, as intense to me in my opinion as a Kuruinu. So I would give this one S tier to stay the fuck away for this ugly bastard. This next one is called Kono Hikkyomono. This one is actually a colored doujin. The girl reminds me of Eri. God, what is that one? Sankaria? No, not Sankaria. Fuck. Saikano, there you go. The girl from Saikano. So it was like, this Eri character is getting it. It was a little more lenient. It's gonna be weird for me saying that. This one was a little more laid back. It was, it has some R. The scenes were kind of hot, I would say. In a way, I enjoyed this. This is gonna be my first one that I actually enjoyed. It was kind of fucked up. The ugly bastard, in the sense for this one, you rarely see his face. You rarely get really cringy dialogue or whatnot. Like, his dialogue can match to other cultured anime characters. So, like, if you just listen to it, you wouldn't think it'll be an ugly bastard, in a sense. But this one, I would probably give a B. This one I'd probably give this one an E. An E for, it's okay. Like, it honestly doesn't really feel like an ugly bastard show. Well, there was one panel, it kind of showed his stomach, and it's like, well, he's just fat. I feel like my muscles in my face kind of loosened up when I started looking at this, so yeah. Oh, shit, man. Okay. This show, both in the doujin and in the animated series, Simon Seishido. I'm gonna say this and say that this show is like the father of all ugly bastard shows. It's mind control, and he's just the way he speaks, the way he looks, the way he cucks people. My god. But this show's fucked. So automatically, without giving it a second thought, this is gonna be an S tier ugly bastard because, my god, I mean, the girls are hot, okay, but my god, this guy, he's nasty as hell. Holy shit. JK to Inko Kyoshi 4. Now this one does have ugly bastards, but it's not the previous ones. These are just older men doing younger females. Jail time, basically. This is basically the ugly bastard for jail time. The dude themselves aren't really that ugly per se. They're just touchy, you know what I mean? I think the scenes were okay. Not the best, like it was just very generic in my opinion. This one's manageable, if I would say so the least. But there are more scenes where they show the face. That is the downside of things. But I do think it's manageable, but it's still kind of weird. I would comfortably put this at a C tier where it's like in the middle. Like it's still kind of bad because you have this dude, but it's still kind of good because it's not as ugly or as grotesque as some other shows. I think it's pretty doable. Shikijo Kyodan. I'm gonna say it straight up, this show is fucking weird. Soft throughout the whole 2 episodes. You never see the dude's face until like maybe a little bit, then the girls are kind of dumb. The first one was okay, the second one was dumb and stupid. Again, you don't really see his face, but you can still say he's an ugly bastard in the sense of his actions. It's hard to rank because he's not your typical ugly bastard. He's like the Chad of the ugly bastards, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do these women. I thought it was really cringy. I thought it was boring and bland. I personally didn't like it, so I'll just put it at a B tier. B tier because he's, well, no, not even a B tier. I would put this at a C tier again. This one's gonna be a C tier because he's just like, I guess, a buff homeless man. Happens to be older, which doesn't necessarily mean he's ugly, but it fell under that category. He just has ugly bastard like motives where he just forces himself. I think this one's pretty neutral, so this one's gonna be a C tier. Oh, sweet Jesus, this one's fucked. This one's fucked. Suma ga kirei ni natta wake. You have the husband, and then you have the wife doing another man. But then the husband pays the man to do that to his wife, but the man, I guess, is uglier than him, but the wife loves him more. It's fucked, and by the second episode, the guy is like with them, and then the guy and these guys go with the woman, and this woman likes it, and then finds out the husband's there, and it's just... This one was the saddest one for me. This one pained me. He got cucked so damn hard, like he just broke down right in front of her. Oh, it's really hard to watch. Why are you doing this? So the ugly bastard in question is, I guess, you can mistake me if I'm wrong, he is an ex from that woman or some kind of, I don't know how they actually met. I was too caught up in the fact that this guy is paying the other dude to do his wife, which it's a thing. Don't get me wrong, and like I acknowledge that it's a thing, not my thing per se. The ugly bastard side of things, this one was watchable only because the guy didn't really seem to be an ugly bastard. He didn't have that forcible motive. He did have a lot of dominance, but dominance is more in the sense of every cultured anime out there. I'm gonna put Suma ga Kirei at an E tier because it's not entirely watchable because it does have Netorare, and some people don't like Netorare. I think it's okay in some stances. This video is cursed. JK to Ero Konbini. Alright, this one is fucking hilarious. This is the comedy of the ugly bastards. This is one of my first ones I ever saw that someone introduced me to. You have this convenience store owner. You have this blonde girl, like a little Target version or Walmart version of Idy from that popular series that everyone knows about. I really think it's funny. Like, he is an ugly bastard and he is like blackmailing her and everything, and she's like, oh, go to the police or just let him have his way with me. And she ends up doing the latter, and I think that's just fucking hilarious. There were some pretty good scenes because he doesn't really say anything. He just acknowledges it, and the girl does it to him. So he's like a silent ugly bastard protagonist. To me, he is another case of ugly bastard where he's just older and it's a young girl and it's another jail time. I actually think this series is manageable because I enjoy it. I think it's funny, even with the other girl, and it gets fucking crazy. Like, I would be looking at my phone and I'll be like, what the fuck is going on? It's gonna sound weird, but I think this is a really fun show. And I totally believe that it is really watchable, so I'm gonna give this one an F tier because I really do think you should fully watch it. F. Let's keep moving on. This is the one I wanted to shine light on. We got Sei Yariman Gakuen Enko Nikki. This is an ugly bastard who just an older man who got divorced. And yes, usually older men with younger women tend to be a little ugly per se. I believe this one out of, I think, everyone is the most wholesome. Now, let me explain that. It's consensual. No one is forcing each other to do one thing. The girl offers, he accepts. There's no cheating. It's purely consensual. I think that was good. Like, it was very pure in that sense. And first of all, why did the wife cheat on him? This dude has a horse dick. What the fuck? Scenes were good. Animation was, I think it was pretty okay. Even if he's a older man, I still think it was pretty enjoyable because it didn't have any of the really gritty, generic, ugly bastard elements in it. So I think this one was the most wholesome. So I'm also giving this one an F tier to fully watch it. Incognito mode, guys. Chi-chan, Kahatsu, Nikki. Sweaty, hairy, dresses like a fucking pig, fat, weird ass teeth, misaligned eyes, short raggedy hair, taking advantage, ugly as fuck. This is one of the shows I was watching that made veins on my forehead kind of pop out a little bit. When people tell you to stay away from ugly bastard, this is the fucking thing you need to fucking avoid. This was bad. Like, I cursed myself for watching this because I never watched it before. Here's the tag, it can't be that bad, because the girl in the front was like, okay, that's no. The amount of cuteness she had does not overpower how ugly this bastard was. Fucking S tier. Moving the fuck on. Alright, we got Queen Bee, Ichigo Chocolate. This one made me feel weird, not in a gross sense, in a is this right sense. You have these old guys, and I don't mean like 40-year-old guys, I mean like 70 and 80-year-old guys with this teenager slash young adult in their 20s, and they're doing her, and that made me feel really uncomfortable. I just felt very bad. Made me question myself, like, why the fuck am I watching this? This one is probably an A tier. It just makes you feel weird and makes you think. It's not bad in the sense, it's old guys doing young girls, and I'm assuming none of you are 70 years old watching this video. If you are, holy shit, what if you are? But yeah, A tier. To stay the fuck away. Sex friend Gakuen. This one was completely animalistic. It just follows a simple rule that a cultured anime has. Girl doesn't like him. Guy has big beepy energy. Girl loves him. I'm speechless with this one. Like, he's another really ugly bastard. Yet he gets these girls, and I'm just dumbfounded about that. It's so stupid. This one was another one that was hard to watch for me. I kind of skipped around a little bit, to be honest. I didn't watch the whole episode. Pain, Pekko down. Well, I really didn't like this one, so I'm gonna put it at S tier to stay the fuck away. Moving on. This one is even worse. You have an old guy with ugly bastard, the generic tropes that ugly bastards have, and it's uncensored. And I don't know about you, but watching uncensored just makes me feel weird. It has too much detail and makes me feel gross. The guy is gross, everything is gross. I'm gonna skip right to it. This should be an SS tier. You really need to not watch this. I was only gonna do modern, popular ones, but I said, you know, I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. I'm gonna include some of the old ones, you know what I mean? Show the old ones some love. No, that was a fucking mistake. Like, it is absolutely atrocious. Like, not even the female makes up for it, she just makes it worse. And I think there's some incest in there too. Yeah, automatic S tier, moving the fuck on. Nariyuki Papakatsu Girls. I wouldn't say he's an ugly bastard. And he's fat and he has big pee-pee energy. This one is it's kind of consensual. The first one, she's doing it because she wants to. The second one it has a minor cheating. Well, it is cheating because the other girl has a boyfriend. Yet she goes with this guy, falls in love with them because of, you know, coitus. And they end up doing it together. And they keep doing it. And there was this one weird scene where they're in a stadium and they're doing it in front of everyone. It's like Olympic Games. Like, holy shit. Like, if there's a thing called casual sex, then there's a thing for competitive ranked sex. This one was pretty enjoyable to watch. You don't really see his face. You just see the girls in action. And I think that's what was a big turn on for me. I mean, he does show up here and there like as being big and fat and whatnot, but like that's just his weight. He doesn't really talk much at all. Well, he does, but it's not really forceful. It's consensual, which I do appreciate. So with this one, I would comfortably put this at an At an F tier, yeah, I'm gonna put it at F tier where you should fully watch this show. The animation is great too. I love the animation. But yeah, moving on. Baka Dakedo. This one was sweet and weird at the same time. Another case of mistagging a show. It's actually vanilla, which I liked. They both liked each other. The scenes were kind of like, they were over the top a little bit. So this one is another F tier because it made me feel happy. Weird. He's not an ugly bastard. Like, it's okay to be have a little meat on your bones, you know what I mean? And it was very consensual, very vanilla. I think this one is a good watch. So definitely F tier. All right, so about a year ago, I had this app called OkCupid. I used Tinder before, and to my surprise, there's this show called Tinderbox. Tinderbox is fucked, cause everyone looks generic as fuck, except for the two girls. When they say ugly bastard, they just mean middle-aged men. You really don't see their face, you see them being forceful a little bit. The girl wants it, and that's about it. Imagine the girl being the box, and Tinder being the big PP energy, and that's it. She's the Tinderbox. It's watchable, don't get me wrong. It's just very bland and very basic. So this is probably gonna be my first one. I'm gonna put it at a D tier. It really isn't the best ugly bastard show, but you won't get anything out of it. But I do think this is more watchable than the others because it doesn't really have the themes of really, really bad ugly bastard ones. Comfortably, I'll put this at a D tier. Energy Kyoka. This one was a comedy. This is my second comedy one that I've seen. This one does really, really shine light on ugly bastards. You have a room full of ugly bastards. I mean old, I mean ugly, I mean, You have like elephants in there, like holy shit. Like you have
some good fucking food.
It's always gonna be weird for me seeing teenage type girls doing like very, very older men, like 16 above. Just seeing them just made me feel nasty. Some scenes are pretty good, but always in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking these are really old men. Energy Kyokai. I'm gonna put you at a, where should I put you at? I'm gonna put you at a C tier in the middle. But in my case, I still watched it beginning to end. Sadly, moving on to the last one. Oh my fucking god. Ura Jutaijima. The last show that made me disgusted. It was really bad. He takes control of these girls. I mean, he's the only guy on this island, and it's very, very sad. It's another case where I can't really say much because it's that bad. And with that being said, this is gonna be an S tier to stay the fuck away. It was absolutely atrocious. Oh man. So in retrospect from making this tier list, you can see how I've decided to rank these. F being the ones that are doable to watch, while S tier being the ones you should stay away from. I took the step that no one wanted to do. I went to sleep and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do an ugly bastard tier list. I'm gonna make 2020 even worse. If not for everyone, then just for me. But hey, if you enjoyed the video, then I'm sorry. I saw no one do this, either because they were scared to do it, and that's it. I'm recording this way early on, and I don't know when I'll start to edit this. Well, I'm gonna keep drinking water, stay hydrated everyone, and I'll see you all next time. That.